Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omni video. Today we're going to do an updated character guide on Snow. My boy Snow just got his FR. I'm actually kind of like really excited all of a sudden because, you know, when I was doing my monthly poll planning, like I looked and figured out, yep, it's Jesse's, whatever, but I never like looked who the character with her was. And then seeing like, oh, it's Snow coming back with his FR. He's a character that, like in his previous iteration, I think when he first got his BT, was super top tier. There was a thing called Snow Overflow that you could do that a lot of players like to abuse. So I fully maxed this guy, like green BT, blue armor. So this is kind of exciting for me just to like very easily, well, I shouldn't say very easily, watch my poll video, but to just go in and grab an FR and now have like a really nice fully built character. I'm kind of excited going into this because I think his damage is actually going to be really good and he is a really good tank. The only reason like why Snow maybe isn't a must pull is he's lacking like a really important thing that I like on tanks, which is counterattacks. He doesn't do any counterattacks, but he does have preemptive attacks. I would say, so if you're unfamiliar with Snow, he's a tank that he doesn't counter, and I would say he doesn't tank as well as other tanks, but he tanks very well. And I would say he's more of an on-turn damage dealer version of a tank. I think he's going to do a lot of damage on turn. And his tanking is more about, like, he does have locking, but more about, like, it's not like he's making the party dodge or evade, or he's not, like, soaking in and taking 0 damage all the time. But what he does do is he does give the party very heavy Brave and HP damage reduction. So he allows himself and the party to take very heavy hits that normally you can't survive, and then he's able to heal himself back up. If you have other healers in the party, that can help as well. But yeah, I think he's going to be a nice character for damage. So we're going to hop in and take a look at him here. And he's also ice damage dealer, so he does enchant and peril for ice. So yeah, we'll keep that in mind as well. So let's go ahead. We're going to look at his calls, his artifacts, and his spheres. The only thing notable about his calls is with Steel Guard, you get locking. So having lock on a call is notable. It is good. It is something you use. There are several characters in this game that do not have lock that really benefit from lock. I would say the two characters that benefit the most from this are Kain and Freya. So Kain and Freya are these dragoons that jump up in the air, and they literally float up in the air for several turns. And if the enemies attack their slot, they attack the empty space and they miss. So putting lock on like Freya or Kain is actually pretty nasty, because then you can let them sit back there. You can do a bunch of off-turn, turn manipulation, BT phase. They just sit up there. The enemies then, if any single target, they're just attacking and whiffing at nothing, right? So it is good to have lock calls for when you need them. But there are other lock calls you can use, but Snow would be an example of one. Otherwise, these just do like a little bit of damage. The ice ramp here does do ice enchant and imperil just to the caller though. So if you want to put ice on a singular character, that is notable that you could use that as well. And it does do the ice imperil. Okay, so once again, his call isn't anything you should chase, but it is notable that it has locking on it. Let's go into Snow here. So my Snow is very maxed out. The ultimate weapon is only sublimate 0 right now, but otherwise he's got everything else fully decked out. And by the way, I didn't even look at his new weapon here. So this was his BT that I already had. This is the FR. Okay, that looks solid. Then we got the ultimate. The thing with the gloves, like, I don't really notice, like, a huge difference. Like, they all just look kind of similar to me. I've always liked Snow like this, with just, like, the street gloves. And I'm not even doing it for memes. I know sometimes we put the bronze weapon on as a meme, but I actually legitimately like this on, like, some fist users, where they're just wearing, like, simple leather gloves. So I think I'm going to leave Snow like that. We're going to give him the simple leather gloves. It's not like the meme where you put, like, the little axe on Sephiroth or something, right? Or like Vayne with the little floating axes. That's actually kind of funny. But no, I actually like the brown gloves on him. So let's go ahead and look at his artifacts and his spheres. I think his artifacts are fairly straightforward because he's a damage dealer and he's an older character. It's attack 108, max brave 330. But what I will say, I think iBrave 170 is actually really good on him because his kit is littered with brave gaining on iBrave. So if you're using Snow and you feel like your brave damage is okay, or you feel like your max brave is okay, I mean, if you wanted to do a combination with, say, attack and iBrave or iBrave max brave, if you want to do a more brave focused build, I think iBrave is actually a very good stat you can use on him. So I'm going to use my Snow a little bit. Let me look in here. Yeah, you can see I definitely was thinking about it. I have farmed iBrave ones, right? So you can see here, I have attack iBrave here. Here's another attack iBrave. And I did an iBrave Max Brave. So I definitely have had iBrave in mind with this guy because for its Brave gains, it is very good. So I think between iBrave, Max Brave, and attack, you go ahead and pick the combo you like the best. I think most people just recommend attack Max Brave, but I think iBrave is a nice stat there. So keeping that in mind, let's go into the spheres. He's got an A slot, which is an attack sphere, B, which is a tank sphere, C, which is a support sphere. So the A slot, I think Rydia is a really nice one here. I think attack and brave damage are pretty much like the things you want to go with. You could give him like a physical damage or a melee damage one. So like if you want to do Raijin for a big physical damage up, you totally could do that as well. He does do weakness damage, so I think Rydia is just nice here because you get attack and brave damage, which are two stats he really likes on A. For B slot, Snow himself, and I think I did forget to talk about this during my Should You poll, but his B sphere is actually one of the best B spheres in the game. The thing is, it's still not anything you want to chase because there's, well, it is really good. There's a limited pool of characters that can really use it. Because one, there aren't many characters that have B slots, and it has to be a B slot character that locks. So it's basically when you're targeted, it raises your attack by 10%. If you are a lock-based character, like you're going to have that constantly. So on Snow, I really like putting that there for him on the B slot. And then C slot, I really like Alphinaud here because this one is party iBrave and attack. And as I mentioned before, I really like iBrave on Snow, so it's going to help his Brave gains a little bit and give attack to the party. So I actually really like Alphinaud there. You could do something like Paladin says so if you want more Brave gains. But otherwise, I would just do like a party attack up. But I think Alphinaud is actually quite stellar on him. So with that, yeah, we're going to hop into the showcase. And we are going to go into, I'm intentionally going into a very aggressive fight. So, and we'll bring a friend Aerith to get some extra ramping. And maybe just some extra echo as well. So we are going to hop into the Kelger fight, which is meant for tanks. And we're going to showcase, you know, Snow as a tank to show what he can do. So just in general, just so you guys know, he's going to be locking on, and he's going to be reducing Brave and HP damage, but he doesn't like negate damage. And so what you're seeing there is Retribution. He does a preemptive strike before his turn. Now, Retribution comes from the LD, and the other thing that's notable about Snow is Snow with just his LD makes him one of the best farmers in the game. And when I say farmer, I mean a character that when you're going through trash waves during like story mode and launch chapter, Snow and Rex both have the same thing where they do a preemptive attack that's quite fast and it's AoE. So if you have either of those characters with their I think Rex might also be the LD that gives it to him, but I know for sure it's Snow. If you wanted to throw some tickets on here, like let's say you're not planning to build Snow or you don't care about Jesse, but you have a ton of tickets, if you don't have Snow LD, it might actually be worth a few tickets to get his LD just to use him as a farmer, right? So Retribution there, and just so I can talk about it, that did only 2 HP dumps, so it seemed kind of weak, right? 300k, but he gets Retribution plus, and he has a buff called Vendetta that he has to get up to 2 stacks. Once that's at 2 stacks, he's going to get the plus version, which is much stronger. It's going to do 9 dumps, so we'll see that later on. So with Snow, I usually like to open up with Steel Guard, so we're going to do that. That's going to put locking down on the enemies. We did a mil damage, which is solid. And guess what? Snow gets a turn. We get Retribution, right? So, Steel Guard is a battery, which scales on his iBrave. 6 HP dumps. He gets a free turn after using it. And then gives him the Steel Guard buff, an offensive screen buff. And then he puts lockdown on the enemies for 5 turns. So, the Steel Guard is Brave damage minus 50% taken to Snow. And then he gets minus 10% more Brave damage each time he takes a hit, which after getting hit 5 times, it's going to go up to 100%. So Snow with Steel Guard, after getting hit 5 times, will have 100% Brave damage reduction, which basically means he's going to be taking 1s from anything, right? Then he gets Offensive Screen, which is a stacking buff. He's actually got a few things that stack. He's got Vendetta and Offensive Screen. So Offensive Screen is 3 stacks. He gets a stack from using skill 1 or from taking braver HP hits. And Vendetta also stacks the same way. And this is going to be attack, max brave, and eye brave up, and the stats get better the more stacks it has. And brave regen up, and the brave regen scales on eye brave. Once again, I see eye brave all over his kit, and it makes me want to do an eye brave build. So once again, I might go back and forth on that. We'll see. But once again, Snow wants to basically take hits to build up these stacks, or once again use his skill 1 to do that. So next, let's go ahead and hit Frost Strike. So we'll hit that right now. Alright, so 1.3 mil, solid damage. Once again, we don't have any BT effects up. Frost Strike is another Brave gain, 8 HP dumps. He Brave gains in between HP, and he does heal, so this is a great way for him to heal himself, which is pretty good. And it doesn't do any buffs, it just kind of... So that's kind of like his heal button, right? And it's like a filler attack with decent damage. So Frost Strike is kind of your filler attack there. We've got Luna Freya. So we're going to do... I mean, this feels so old school, but yeah, we're going to do Luna Freya shenanigans. We're going to do her LD, and I kind of wanted to showcase her a bit, because I haven't used her since her rework. So we're going to kind of look at her damage. Yeah, mil AoE. Oh yeah, they're cutting in turn order. They're doing their thing. So there's Snow reducing damage. Only took 5k from that. And then he's going to trigger the rose petals from Beatrix. So this is why they're kind of a nice combo. But yeah, just reducing the damage. He locked on and he took it. So this is great to show off kind of what Snow can do. He also has Last Stand, but he's got to be above 50% HP. So if the enemies are too aggressive, I mean, they can get to him, right? So now what we're going to do with Luna Freya is I do want to ramp here. Okay. And then I do want to Quick Prayer Snow, so I can just take a few turns with him and kind of show him off a bit. Oh, Snow might be over buffed. Hold up. We got a crazy buff. I don't think he got it. Yeah, we are way over buffed. That's totally fine. Snow did not get that. We have a very heavy... Oh, I forgot. Beatrix and Luna Freya. Yeah, this is a heavy, heavy buff squad. So maybe not the best team because we're over buffing a little bit, but that's okay. With Snow... Or yeah, with her, let's go ahead and just get her BT rolling. I'm not going to worry about like ramping a ton yet. I just want to see Snow take a couple... Oh, I guess what I could do with Snow... Let's do this. On Snow's next turn, let's just do a BT phase. Do I want to, or do I want to try to feature it for damage? I kind of want to feature it for damage, actually. Yeah, I think I do want to see what Snow can do during his own BT phase, to be honest. So we might not do that. So with you, we shall Clim Hazard. Now with Beatrix, I do want to put her Holy Knight Safeguard on, but I think I'm going to refrain from doing it. Because her Holy Knight Safeguard is going to make it so we take 0 HP damage, and I want to see Snow's tanking. So I'm actually not going to put that on intentionally. I do kind of want to put Shock on, but I do also need to get... Let's do this. Let's do this to delay him a bit, give us a little bit of a break here. Because I kind of want to do more setup before they're blasting us too much. They're going to cut, though, so it doesn't matter. Alright, look at this. Big damage coming at Snow. 18,000, turned it into 10. And then we get the counter. But yeah, Snow's working great here because it's all single target. 15k, I mean, he's really cutting that damage down, right? A lot of damage reduction. Alright, so Beatrix, yeah, let's get BT effect up. Alright, so now we're going to see Snow with some more BT effects. I mean, I kind of want to use Frost Strike to heal. But I do want to see some of his other buttons. But, yeah, I can do one of his other buttons because Luna Freya can just heal him back. Alright, there you see the heavy prayer coming into play with Beatrix. Yep. Alright, Retribution Plus. Yeah, dude, 2 mil AoE on that. That's pretty good. You get the Retribution Plus. So let's talk about that. That comes from Vendetta. So Vendetta comes from the LD. So let's do the AA quick, because he can regen HP on his AA as well. And then he gets a free Retribution. Now, you notice he goes back down to the weaker Retribution at 500k. So what happens is when he does Retribution Plus, his stacks are going to reset on that. So now let's go ahead and do the LD. This is called Ice Ramp. And this is where Retribution comes from. Okay, so 1.5 mil solid. And now Snow getting hit is good because it's building his Vendetta stacks back up. Oh, but he missed. Okay. I think he does have to actually get hit. Yeah. Oh, and actually, Snow, you probably don't want to put evasion on him. So I probably have evasion on his summon boards. I probably have to take that off. Typically, characters that want to get hit, you don't want to put any evasion on them, right? So the LD is a big Brave gain, 6 HP dumps AoE. He gets the Vendetta buff, and it gives him 2 stacks of Vendetta, like right out of the gate. And then it does do an Ice and Peril on the enemies, right? Now, Vendetta, if we go back down to that, it stacks at 2 stacks, and all he has to do is take a Braver HP hit or use the LD. So as long as he gets hit once in between, he's going to get Retribution Plus every time he comes up. And this is going to Ice Enchant, Brave Gains up, Brave Gains on allies. It's Self Ice Enchant and Self Brave Gain up, and then allies get Brave damage taken minus 60%. And then party HP regen. So he can self-sustain healing on the party, but it is HP regen, which can be kind of slow. So you may still need some type of burst healing. And then HP damage minus 30%. And then that gives him the Retribution Plus, or the regular one, depending on what the Vendetta stacks are at. So Luna Freya will do an energy heal. And this will actually get us to gauge. And I actually don't remember what their force time is going to look like, but we're going to find out because we are nowhere near Snow. Snow is way back there. So we'll just Diamond Dust here. This is good, though. We can look at Luna Freya's damage a bit. Yeah, I mean, 2 mil. That's good damage for Luna Freya, for sure. Oh, yeah. See, 300 damage he took from that. Because he couldn't Brave gain. He was doing, like, 1s on Brave damage. So, yeah, Snow tanking very well there once he's, like, properly set up. With you, I think I do want to put Shock down. There we go. And then we're going to get into Snow's FR. I know I haven't done his EX yet. Luna Freya. We will just do the Frigid Fubuki, I think. Yeah, look, he actually literally tanked it for 0. He actually took 0 Brave damage. So yeah, in that instance now, he's looking pretty unkillable, right? We are going to Thunder Slash, I suppose. Keep the rose petals a-flowing. Yeah, Snow is now just full tanking. That's great. And once again, we don't have Holy Knight Safeguard on. That is Snow. Retribution plus 2.2. Dude, that is strong. We got to get into his force and then get into a burst phase. The thing is in a Snow burst phase, I think Snow's the type of character that just works better letting the fight go. Because he can't get Retribution plus all the time, right? He's going to get it like once, and then he can do his LD and get it again. But he can't take Brave hits during his burst phase, right? So I think that's what's going to stop him from doing like crazy damage. Oh, we don't have his BT effect up yet either. So let's go into FR and then we'll get his BT effect up after. Alright, with Rubicante for 2 mil AoE. We'll take it. We did cancel the force. Nice. Yeah, I think they just want melee damage for this because it's Kelger's fight. But yeah, Snow now is like kind of just full tanking, isn't he? He's looking pretty good. I mean, and this fight is meant for Kelger, so they do a lot of single target and the lock works, right? Alright, so now I kind of want to just go crazy. So sure, we'll just start echoing away, I suppose. We will just echo away. Nice. And then Beatrix. Klim has... No, we'll echo. So I want to get up to a pretty decent gauge, though, and then we will do a Snow Burst, just to see what he can do. And what I'll probably do is, like, if I'm not up to full 9s by the time I go in, I'll make sure he's at full 9s. We'll do the LD and then see a Retribution Plus. Here we go. Retribution Plus at 277, 6.3 mil AoE. Before he even does damage, now we're going to top his BT on top of that. So this is going to have some pretty decent damage on it. His BT, big AoE ice damaging attack. This does do Party Ice Enchant, which is notable to help his FR. And I suppose I got to talk about his FR because I put that on. But this is Brave damage limit, HP damage limit up. And then the unique thing with his BT is it gives the party Brave gains scaled on 50% of their HP damage after every HP attack. So it helps characters with a lot of HP dumps keep their Brave very high, which is notable. So you're going to notice as like Beatrix's traps that are going, notice her Brave barely went down at all. And everybody's Brave is going to stay very high. So that's kind of the really cool, unique thing about Snow's BT. Now, the other thing with the FR, we got to talk about our gains that we're getting here, right? So during the force time, party HP damage is minus 30%. Well, he's already giving party HP damage minus 50 in his regular kit. So during force time, it's 80% HP damage down for the party. So the party is going to feel pretty darn unkillable. And you just got to make sure you can heal back periodically. Now, his force is kind of interesting in that he's got off-turn triggers and on-turn triggers. So on turn, if you do an ice ability, 40%. If you're using non-elemental characters and he's ice enchanting, you're good. And Luna Freya is already ice as well. So the 40% is going to be free. And then if you have a stacking buff or effect on your turn, you get 20%. And then if you reduce Brave damage taken, that's 20%. And that's off turn only. So if the enemies attack, we can get 20% off turns. And then we can get 60% on turn. So Luna Freya, let's just do this. And then I'll probably, on Luna Freya's next turn, I might just take her out for the friend Aerith and do like some Mega Ramp and then just leave the Aerith out. I think would be fine. And then, yeah, we'll just keep echoing away here. And it's so funny because Beatrix's FR partner is actually Snow. So I did not do that intentionally. I just thought they actually worked really well on a team together. So there's 15 mil. Here's a Retribution Plus at 12 mil at 500%. Dude, that is freaking strong. So Snow now. Yeah, I think... Oh, we have his EX up. I kind of want to press that button, but I kind of want to just keep echoing. I'm going to just keep echoing. And then if we don't see his EX until the burst phase, that's fine. So I think on Snow's next turn, we're going to go into burst phase and just see the damage flow. Now watch this. We're going to get the hit here. We're going to get 20% off turn, which is very good. And Snow's Steel Guard has worn off. You can see they're attacking other characters, but we still have so many reductions for the party. Kind of doesn't matter. And yeah, we're getting the 20% off turn ticks there, which is nice. Let's go to Aerith. And let's do this. So yeah, we'll just double echo, get Aerith's BT effect up. Still have good BT auras. Yep. So yeah, Aerith got a pretty good gain. Let me see. And so here's one trick I should mention. Let me just see what she gets for gains here. Okay, so she just got 80%. Now, if Aerith had a stacking buff or effect, she would have gotten another 20%. A trick you can do with an FR condition like Snow is just bring Rydia Call, because Rydia Call is a stacking buff. So if you do that, you'll give every character the ability to get that 20%. Or there are other calls where you can do that as well. But you can artificially give your character a buff that stacks so that they can hit that, right? But I'm not worried about it here. Let's do the BT effect. And yeah, Snow's going to be hopping in at a pretty much a max gauge. So we're going to see what can Snow do on a burst phase. Once again, if his Retribution were consistent, that I could have it up every attack, Snow might actually be like a top tier damage dealer. But we're going to see mostly regular Retributions during his burst phase. But it'll still be like decent free damage. We'll do a Clim Hazard, I suppose. All right, yeah, so we're at like 900. There's a regular Retribution. Yeah, Snow hadn't even been hit because he didn't have Steel Guard on, so that was unfortunate. But let's go burst phase. And let's go ahead and let's reapply Steel Guard right away. All right, so about 15 mil there. But you got to combo the Retribution with it, right? So what is that, 3.6 mil, which is a lot weaker than the plus, but we're going to see the plus in a minute. Let's hit his EX because we haven't seen that yet. This is Sovereign Fist. Okay, 21 million. Yeah, that's pretty good damage for a tank. Sovereign Fist, AoE 8 HP dumps. He Brave gains in between. He does get a skill use back as skill 1 and skill 2. He gets a buff called Hot-Blooded Hero, and that does reapply the lock. Hot-Blooded Hero is a Max Raven Eye Brave up, Overflow up, HP damage up to himself, and then the party gets HP damage taken minus 20%, which is pretty good. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to do the LD. After the LD, his Vendetta should be up, so we should see at least one Retribution plus here. All right, so we got 17 mil AoE plus this, which is another, was that 25 million? Oh my goodness. So 25 and 17. So that was over 40 mil AoE. That was pretty good damage. I would say the one flaw, like I said, I don't know that I would use Snow for his burst phase like this, because now the rest of the way, we just get regular Retribution. And it's not like his damage is bad. It's still pretty good, right? We still got 23 million plus the extra 5. So still did like 27 million, 28 million in that range. Still pretty dang good damage. Let's go ahead, I suppose, and hit the FR. How's the FR looking here? Yeah, Pyro Glacier. What a weird combo, right? Fire and ice together. Very interesting. Yeah, 21 mil. And then the Retribution, regular one, pop it in there. All right, and then sure, we'll have HP plus here. It's fine. Okay, and then the BT attack, and that's going to finish it. I mean, absolutely destroyed this Kelger fight. But Snow looking very good. So like I said, I think he's just nice in that tank role. I would say he's really good in an FR where the enemies are being able to attack to refresh his Retribution, but then he's periodically getting attacks, right? So like he's kind of different than a traditional tank where like if you have, say, your Orons, your Gladios, your Kelgers, you just want them to never take turns and you want the enemies to go nonstop. Snow's a little bit more balanced where you want the enemies to take turns and you want Snow to periodically get turns to use his Retribution plus and get the really good on-turn damage. But Snow is really good, as you saw here. The Brave and HP damage reductions to the party looking really nice, and he's got really good on-turn damage. So let me know what you think of Snow. I think he's actually looking really nice after the rework. Thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one.